Your soul wants you to get to that next level version of yourself.
Hello and welcome to the Feminine as Fuck podcast. I'm your host, Monica Yates, a period and ICF certified women's life coach, and I help women to harness the power of their period and connect to their feminine flow. In these episodes, we will be talking about all things periods, hormones, confidence, health, food, money, sex, business, feminine flow, your brain, energy, and all the stuff that goes through our heads. You will walk away from each episode with new chicken nuggets and truth bombs, as I don't have a filter and I love talking about all the shit that people are thinking but too afraid to say.
Hello, beautiful ladies. I wanted to talk today about, well, firstly, when this is going to be launching. Like when you guys are listening to this, I will be in Ibiza, or I think I'll be in Ibiza. But I'm recording it in my sexy podcast studio because I'm obsessed with the sound quality. And I'm like, now that I have this sound quality, I just can't go back. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do when I'm traveling? Oh, well, we will all manage. I know you'll all survive. So I want to talk today about money stuff, and actually not even money stuff. I'm talking today about objections. So I asked in a Instagram story probably about a month ago by the time you guys watch this, and I was going to then reply to all of the question thingy bobs that popped in, but then I just got busy and I forgot. So the responses. So the question that I asked was I know so many of you are wanting to work with me. I know it because you send me messages. You're always I always see that you're liking my posts and whatever, but there's something blocking you from reaching out. Now, I want to go through some of the most common responses I got when I asked you, what's the fear of holding you, what's that fear that's holding you back from truly stepping up and actually doing the work? So I'm going to kind of go through them one by one and unpack them a little bit. And I hope this can help some of you to understand where these thoughts and beliefs and fears are coming from and how they're not actually supporting the growth that you'd be wanting. And hey, if you don't want to work with me, that's also so okay. There is no everybody has to work with me here. It's I want to be able to help those of you that are really feeling pulled so you can actually get the results your next level self wants you to get, because right now you're holding yourself back. And when you sit in this maybe gray, I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it, where there's push and pull between ego and soul, it is the yuckiest, most low vibration place to be in. It is draining. It will burn you out. It will suck the life force out of you. When you make an empowered decision, whether it's a yay or a nay, it doesn't matter. It's a decision that means that you're not battling between your mind and your soul because you've chosen, and that's fine. But if you choose out of fear or out of guilt or out of your head, it becomes this gray area and this shit fest that can literally physically manifest into other areas of your life. So be really cautious of that, of how when you hold yourself back, that can actually physically manifest into other areas of your life. So let's go through them. Oh, and before we even go through them, I want to reiterate, I've got my Melbourne and Brisbane's events coming up. Do not forget to get your tickets. I've even been super nice for those of you with money blocks that I've made a payment plan option available and a full ticket price. The tickets are only $77 early bird. And then if you want to do a payment plan, it's $20 a week for 4 weeks. So it's so freaking doable, ladies. It's 3 hours of fully my time. It's not me just giving you verbal diarrhea. We are doing work there. You will walk out with a transformation. You get to do work with me in person. You get to meet other amazing women that you could become friends with, right? This shit is priceless. It's fucking doing the work with other women and and men. We're not even going to get into that right now, but I can't wait for my New York event in November. Doing the work with other people is amazing, and it helps you to lift your vibration a lot and get to that next level faster. So make sure you book your Melbourne and Brisbane tickets. Also, I might, depending when this comes out, have a few spaces left in my academy, which is for business women. So if you are a businesswoman and you want to be working in your business in the feminine flow, you want to be magnetic, you want everything to be easy, you want to be having a large impact and a large income and being able to live your dream life from soul-based alignment, and you want to clear the shit that's holding you back from being in that alignment, then make sure you look at my academy. And then also, if you want more of that in-person embodiment, major fucking impact work where you will just be a whole incredible up-leveled version of yourself, then that's where the retreat comes in. I highly recommend that you look at the Bougie Ass Bitches retreat because that shit is going to be on fucking fire. Oh, and next round of the mastermind starts really, really soon. So if you haven't already booked your discovery call, now is the time, because if you miss out, you miss out. Okay, so let's jump into the first one. The first one it was money. It's from yourgal.val. Money, but I'm telling myself money flows easily to me. Hope to work with you soon. That is amazing. And I said this before and I'm going to say it again. If you say these affirmations, but there is a fear, there is a block, there is an underlying, yeah, that's not fucking true. Somewhere underneath there, it won't come true because you're not then actually a full vibrational match for that amount of money. If you want to be a match for like, say, $50,000 or whatever, you then cannot have this underlying like, no, 50 grand is yucky. I'm not allowed to have that. That'll make me greedy. If you have that underneath it, then you're not going to be able to attract it in. So when you're manifesting things, if there's a block under the manifestation that hasn't been cleared, then that's where the problem arises. So when you are blocking yourself because you're waiting for things to line up perfectly before you work with me, and we're just going to say me for the example, but you can use this for other coaches. When you're waiting for everything to line up perfectly, then you're not actually stretching yourself. So even when it comes to the point where you've got the money and you're stretching yourself, it's not going to feel as exhilarating and as good as if you went like, you know what, I'm just going to do this even when it's not the right time, because no time's the right time. The only time is actually now. Past and future and like the fact that it's 12:35 p.m. is actually a man-made thing. But the only time is now. So if your soul is like fucking work with Monica, then the longer that you wait, then the more out of alignment you become, and the more icky, and the harder it becomes. And even when you do then eventually invest in me, by the time you do that, I'll probably be more money anyway. And by the time you do invest in it, it's not going to feel as exhilarating and as alive as when you really stretch yourself. The girls that take out loans, that get new credit cards, that really stretch themselves to work with me, get fucking epic results because it's been a stretch and they've been so far out of their comfort zone, and they are so in a surrender trust state with so much support by the universe that their results are incredible, and then continue to be incredible because they really fucking backed themselves. When you are not backing yourself and not backing the universe, that's a very low vibration scarcity mindset. Okay, so what a lot of us do is what we assume is that because I'm on a set salary or because of X, Y, and Z, you assume that your past is going to continue to be your present. You assume that if you invest in me, you're just going to be X amount of dollars less, and you're not going to be able to create a new future for yourself. So what you do is you put yourself in a box and you limit your awareness. Or the other option is that you expand your awareness and you go, holy shit, this could be the doorway to a whole new world of opportunities. And if you say no to that doorway, you're shutting yourself off from a massive amount of opportunities. Now, of course, these decisions need to come from love, not fear. And that's where it's really being like, does your heart say yes? If your heart says yes, you go with it because your heart is a vibrational frequency 5,000 times greater than your brain. But if your heart says no, then that's okay. Honor that as well. This isn't about making a fear-based decision. This is about making a decision that next level version of yourself would make. Like, what does that next level version of yourself say to you? Would she say, fucking stick your objections up your ass and go work with Monica? Or does she say, no, you need to work with another coach? Or no, you need to go on a holiday? Listen to that next level version of yourself, okay? Because majority of the responses that you guys gave me is money, 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 money. How often, this is the question for you, where else in your life do you let money limit you from having what you want, from having those desires, from having the experiences, for changing your life? Isn't it funny how we will find the money to buy the new clothes, the shoe, the car, the shoes, the shoe, you want one shoe? The shoes, the car, getting our hair done, going on holidays, but you won't spend the money for your brain and for your internal well-being. I gotta say to you, and you gotta believe this, right? Because it's fucking true. If you do the inner work, you'll be so in alignment and vibrating at such a high frequency that you won't need to work your ass off for the shoes and the holiday and the hair. It will all just come into your life. Like, how about instead of you saying, I can have this or this, you say, I can have this and this. When you do that inner work, you get the this and this. You're like, I can do the inner work and I can buy the Mac laptop. You can have both, but it starts with you doing the inner work first. Much like people think that they'll get the confidence if they get the boob job, or if they get if they lose 10 kilos or whatever, then they'll get the confidence, or if they get ripped abs. No. That's not the way that you get your confidence. If you do the inner work, what's going to happen is that you're going to want to go to the gym from a place of love. You're going to want to eat from a place of love. And you're going to want to eat healthy foods from a place of love and respect for your body. And then it never becomes like, oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, I have to eat healthy food. And it doesn't become this battle between your head and your mind. So if you want that freedom that every fucking one of my clients pretty much has said to me, it's freedom. It's fucking freedom after doing this work. And that's the word that I use. Life becomes easy and it's fucking freedom and inner peace, right? That's what it is when you do this work. If you want the freedom and inner peace in every area of your life, then why do you keep holding yourself back? Like often we think that when I have X, Y, and Z, then I won't need to do the inner work, or if I get this, then I'll be happy. And it's just like, I know you've heard this numerous times. When you get whatever, it won't equal happiness. It won't, because that's all material things that your ego loves, not what your soul loves and craves. If your body and your soul and your energy is not in alignment, no matter how many holidays or hair blow dries, whatever you get done, you won't feel this inner freedom. You might feel confident for a few days, but you're not going to feel free. You're still going to be in your head. You're still going to be anxious. Okay? So everyone's, okay, I've got quite a few. Money, upfront costs, money to pay for it. Someone said, I have $4.50 in my bank account. Well, that's still abundance. You got more than zero. So see that as abundance, right? What can $4.50 buy you? Like, look at that as like being grateful. Like, be in that, like take the decimal point out and add a couple zeros on it and imagine that you have that much amount of money. Become a match for, like, right now, you're a match for $4.50 is what I'm getting in this message. I have $4.50 in my bank account. Ha, 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 ha. Right? That is, then you're then kind of almost using that as like a way to get attention, right? It's like, oh, let's go tell my friends, oh my God, lol, I'm broke. I have $4.50 in my bank account. Like, lol, I only have $4.50 in my bank account. Like, lol, I'm broke. Like, we use this as actually a way to get attention, or like, we use drama a lot as a way to make friends or as a way to bond. So right now, I'm sure that you're using the $4.50 as a little bit of way of like getting attention and bonding and creating a little bit of drama. So then you're a match for that, and you're not going to then don't expect to have $450,000 in your bank account then. Someone said the funds I've been manifesting through the universe will hear my call. Amazing. I'm scared everything I want will actually come true. Ha ha ha, the thought is so overwhelming. Yes, the fear of success can be a real thing, because the fear of success means that you are having an identity shift, and that can be painful. It can also mean that you leave people behind that don't want to be friends with this victim anymore, right? That they're like, whoa, who is this new empowered chick, right? I get that, okay? I get that doing the inner work. Sometimes I don't journal on days because I catch myself and then I do it anyway, that I'm scared of what's going to come up. Because sometimes what can come up can be ugly, but let it be ugly. Let it be gross. Let it be overwhelming. The more you resist it, the more it sits there. Like, clearly you want to do it, okay? But that overwhelming feeling is sitting there, and it's actually causing this massive amount of like energy leak in your body at the moment. And instead, you need to be like, I trust myself, I can hold myself, and the universe can hold me to do the work. If your soul is calling, if your body is calling you towards me, when you don't listen to that, it creates this push and pull, this tension in your body, which is very draining. And as I said at the beginning, it will physically manifest. Someone else said an empty bank account and they've put laughing emojis and like a bit of a sweat thing. I feel like that's also latching on to a story, and you're getting some sort of validation out of that. Are you a match for an empty bank account, or are you a match for a bank account that's got $100,000 in it? Money is more of them. Fear of committing to too many things, self-doubt. Look, I obviously never want anyone to overcommit themselves and not be able to show up fully, but this is where it's like you also have to be able to trust yourself that you can do everything. You can have everything, okay? And like, obviously you don't want to commit to like 10 personal development programs, but are you committing like I know I actually talked to you, Haley, and I don't think you're committing to 10 different personal development programs. So then what are you saying that you're going to overcommit to? What are you doing that doesn't feel in alignment for you? Like, if you're hanging out with friends because you feel obliged, that's going to make you feel overcommitted. But if you have a full-on schedule, but it's just because you're having a busy week that week and everything's in alignment, you won't feel overwhelmed. You'll feel in flow. You'll just have a busy schedule. I've got a really busy schedule this week before I go to Milan on Tuesday. And I'm a little bit like, it's a fucking busy schedule, right? I got a lot of shit to do, but I'm really in flow with it. So I'm not finding it overwhelming per se. Okay. What I will find overwhelming is when I've mapped out all my assignments that I have to get done. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a little bit overwhelming for this semester. Okay, another one is personally money. Not being able to find a full-time job has left me with little funds. Okay, so I want you obviously to be able to find a full part-time job. Have you manifested it? Have you been a match for it? Are you taking inspired action? These are questions that you need to ask yourself, because if you're not being able to find a full-time job, you're trying to seek it. What if you allowed it to come to you? What if you took that inspired action? What if you manifested and you really followed your soul's calling and you were in the right place at the right time, right? And it was about divine timing. How much juicier would that be? Right? So much juicier. Instead of assuming that, and this is what's even happening, you're assuming that you need to find a job to be able to work with me. What if you committed to yourself by committing to me, right, and doing the work, and then just by saying yes to that and by putting down the first payment or a deposit or whatever, the job came to you? And that happens so often, where you think you need to do X before you could do Y. But what if you do Y before you, and then X comes to you? What if you invested in me because you trusted yourself and you trusted that the universe would provide for you, and then the job came 2 hours later? That would not surprise me, one, and it's happened before. It happens multiple times, where clients will invest and then something will happen where the universe supports them and money comes back to them, or they get a promotion, or they get an upgrade, or bills like get refunded, or they get this random refund, or they get discounts on certain clothes, or like somebody's mortgage gets paid off or whatever, like crazy wacky shit. But it happens, and this is the world that we live in, of like, you're actually available to have miracles if you are open to miracles, which means that you have to be open to healing and you have to back yourself. If you're not backing yourself, if you're living in a scarcity mindset of like this trade-off of like it's this or this, you're not open to everything, right? If you're thinking like, if you want everything in your life, which is your birthright, our birthright is abundance. If you want a life full of abundance, you have to be able to say, I am actually able to have this and this. I was speaking to one of the new girls in my academy actually yesterday, and we were kind of talking about how a lot of coaches, or she nearly invested in a coach that was all masculine like masculine structure, I should say, with business coaching. And the way that I do things with my like quote unquote business coaching is very like flow, what feels good, because what feels good, you become magnetic, right? And then you can bring in the clients without it not being so easy. Because she was like, Monica, how do you launch stuff? Because you don't really like do anything to launch. You just kind of like say it there and like repeat it a few times, and like next minute you got a fully sold out course plus a whole pile of extra people that have came in that you didn't know that were there. And it's like, oh, that's just because I'm in my feminine flow. That's because I don't try and do business from a way that doesn't feel good, right? And this has come from clearing my blocks firstly, and doing all this embodiment anger release work, and not having this shit that's holding me back. And that's what I teach in the academy with those girls, of like clearing all that crap that's stopping them from being magnetic so they can step into that version of themselves. And then of course we do go through business stuff and strategy and sales and like all that stuff, because I know that you guys like it. And I love talking about like empowered sales and soul sales, and like, oh, it's really juicy. And there's a lot of wounding around sales, right? But ultimately, like, you're here, like I'm here, for example, because I know that I can solve your problem. That's why I'm here. I'm not here just because it's like, oh yeah, it is fun, but like, oh yeah, like I'm just going to sit here and talk for hours and not actually want to fully help someone change their life. No. You ladies all know this. I'm so passionate about my work that I do. I actually just had a podcast interview with somebody else's podcast, like just before I recorded this one. And she was like, what's lighting you up right now? And I was like, seriously, my fucking job. Like, I sometimes people say to me like, how do your mastermind go? And I was like, I actually can't even talk about my mastermind because I just like die. Like all of my group programs, I just die over with my clients and with my one-on-ones of how they're progressing. And it's just like, oh my God, like I just can't even explain it. Anyway, so we go over all that stuff obviously in the academy as well. But the point is that you can't do the business stuff without doing the personal shit, without clearing the blocks. So I don't know where I was going with that, but what was I going to say? So I was talking to this client yesterday, and she was like, oh, thank God, like I obviously invested in you instead of investing with this masculine chick, because like your approach is fucking easy. And I'm like, yeah, like life gets to be easy. And she was saying how like she was going to buy a Mac laptop or invest in me, and then she decided to invest in me because it was a higher priority, it's more important. And I was like, why can't you invest in both? And she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, you can have both. You can have me and you can get the Mac. It's not about a one or the other. As long as both feel divine, as long as both nourish your soul and are going to be this energetic exchange where you can like step into a new level of yourself, and they're an investment, not because you should have a new laptop because it looks good on Instagram. As long as it's for this delicious divine purpose, then you can have both. It's not about a trade-off. There never needs to be a trade-off at all. If you're living life by soul, by your womb, and your womb is like, work with Monica, your womb is like, go do this or whatever the fuck it is, you will get the results. Like, your womb wouldn't be telling you, ladies, like all those ladies that replied to this Instagram story, like you wouldn't have replied if your womb, which is like your intuition, creation, like source, wasn't like, you need to do this. You would just like flick through my stories, right? Many of you didn't reply. So, and maybe those ones that didn't reply, it was either because I triggered the fuck out of them, they didn't want to own it, or it was because they don't want to work with me yet. And that both are fantastic. Both are fantastic, because even if I triggered you, that's a doorway to growth. And the ones that have replied, all of you girls, I'm flicking through all these replies, the majority of them are money, besides the ones that I've said. It's like, you responded to that because a part of you also really knows that you need to do the work. You really want to do this. And the reason why you've got this pull, it's not because you want to like flick money out the door. It's because your soul wants you to get to that next level version of yourself. Your soul, your womb, your heart can feel that version that's waiting for you, and how freeing that is, and how easy that is, and how your life could be. But your ego is pulling you back and not allowing you to step into that. And you have a choice right now to go fuck ego and step into alignment, or you can continue to live by your head, but it will physically manifest, and it's fucking draining. And I haven't had one girl that has ever, and this is not about like tooting my own horn, but like kind of is. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm tuning my own work. I'm tooting the horn of my work. That I've not had one girl that's been like, I really regretted working with you. Every girl that I have had has changed their life, and it's fucking incredible, and it makes me so happy, and it makes me feel so grateful to be able to do this work. And that's why I show up every day for you ladies. That's why I do Instagram lives. That's why I do these podcasts every week, sometimes twice a week. You know, I don't have sponsors for the program. I'm not here to make money off sponsors for the podcast. I'm not sitting here getting paid to do a podcast. I'm doing it because I want to be able to help you, because it's from genuine love. And your soul can feel that, and your soul can feel that next level version of yourself waiting on the other side. And you have a choice right now to make an empowered decision, or stay in that gray area that I was talking about at the beginning of the call, where it's this horrendous push and pull that's so exhausting, and it's the worst, most low vibration, disgusting, icky, yuck, vomity area to sit in. It's not delicious, it's not high vibe, and it's not pleasant at all. So hopefully this kind of explained it for you. And a lot of you move through your big blocks. Seriously, the biggest step that most of you take is actually investing. And then everything kind of like really flows, and we go through some ups and downs, some ego deaths, all that, and it becomes really delicious, right? And you just fly off like a butterfly. So if you felt the pull, when this comes out, these are the options. You've got my academy if you're a businesswoman. The academy incorporates Queen Alchemy and Mastermind together, plus business stuff. So it's like, it's if you're a businesswoman, then I recommend that you do that one. You've got my Melbourne and Brisbane event, which I recommend you come to both. And that might be your little intro point into me, and being like, I just need to go to Monica's event to make sure it's 100% right. And then you can book in for the program at the event. You've got my next mastermind that will start in August. So make sure that you have booked in your discovery call, because I only take a select few women, and I do not take more than I can ever handle, because then I can't deliver 110% to all of you. And I want to be able to deliver my full yes, 1,000% to every single girl in the program. So I do not add extra spaces in. If it sells out and you miss it, then you miss it. That's like snooze, you lose, right? If you're feeling the pull, don't hesitate. Go book in your consultation call. And then we also have the amazing fucking retreat, which is going to be the most embodied, empowered, insane amount of work and transformation in those 5 days. Cannot recommend it enough. And a lot of girls have had these money blocks as well with the retreat, because it's a high investment. It's not your average retreat, right? But it's also not your average growth. So you could do 1,000,001 little tiny retreats, or you could just do one and knock it out of the fucking park and you're done, right? Like, it's totally, like, it's kind of like when you buy cheap clothes, right? You know when like you buy cheap clothes and you have to buy them again and again and again because they get worn out and they get teared and they get like the washing machine ruins them. And by the time you've worn that same fucking cheap ass jumper for 10 times, you might as well have bought the one that was a couple $100 because it would have lasted you a lifetime. It's the same thing. It's like you can invest in all the tiny little courses where you get like a little bit maybe and then you drop back in a little bit and then drop back, or you can do a job fucking well done, pay the money, do the investment, change your life, and it's done. Right? And then it's about having like maybe top-ups every now and again when you need it, when you're going through a rough time. But if you do this stuff properly, you don't actually need to have a coach for your whole entire life. You don't need that at all, right? Do not think that once you start, then you can't stop. Once you do the embodied work, maybe all you do is just continue to listen to podcasts and read books to keep you going and to keep you inspired, but you've done the clearing work that needs to be cleared. And because with all my work, I teach you also how to do the clearing work for yourself. I don't clear it for you. I guide you. You clear it for yourself. It means that you have those tools to use 10 years down the track when things need to be cleared again and new things come up. That retreat is going to be the most impactful 5 days of your life. So if you have not already booked in your discovery call for that, or if you have and you let money dictate what you could and couldn't do, I would really encourage you to think about that again, because you are limiting your life based on a fear projection instead of being in an empowered state of saying I can do the retreat, change my life, and all that money times 10 can flood back into my life, right? Do you want to take an empowered road or a disempowered road? Totally up to you. It's either soul, it's either womb and heart, or it's your head. And your head is wired to keep you safe and it's wired to keep you in your comfort zone. But nothing amazing happens in your comfort zone, and nothing amazing and expansive is going to happen in your head when you've got fear and ego running the show. So I will see some of you ladies at my events, which I'm really excited for. I'm also trying to find a time to come to Adelaide and also New Zealand. So I'm there on the cards because I've had a lot of requests for them. And when they are booked in, then you obviously will all know. Make sure that you are watching my Instagram stories because I post my event stuff on there a lot and like save the dates. So if you're not already watching them, for whatever reason, then please start watching them. Melbourne and Brisbane event tickets are out, so do not miss them. And then keep a lookout for Adelaide and New Zealand because I will do them as much as I can. And keep a lookout for the New York event. That is going to be a really impactful 3 days as well. So I would urge you to put some money aside so that you can have a little bit of a girls trip or whatever to New York, because that will be a higher investment thing and a massive fucking return. And we're doing it with men. So it's like nothing I've ever done before, and you might not have done work with men. It is 7 million times as impactful as doing the work with women. So I would really encourage you to also do that. Bring your boyfriends, bring your husbands, bring your brothers, bring your friends, male, female, whatever. I want to help impact as many people as possible so we can all be living our more soul-aligned, easy, delicious, and free fucking lives. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got lots of chicken nuggets out of today's episode. I would be really, really grateful if you'd be able to leave me a review and a star rating that you think is appropriate, hopefully 5. And if you could share this podcast so that I can help more women live a life of flow and ease, I would be so fucking grateful. Make sure you tag me in it on Instagram so I can personally thank you, because I know so many of my clients have found me literally because their friends have posted about my podcast on their Instagram story. And I just want to help as many women as possible. So by you sharing it, I would be so fucking grateful. And I'm sure your friends would be too. If you do want to work with me, please do check out my website for all those details. And of course, you can DM me on Instagram with any other questions. If you have any podcast things you want me to talk about, any ideas, any feedback, I am always open to it. And I always love hearing what you guys have to say. So please don't hesitate about that either. I will catch you on the flip side. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are.